Ashley 101 asks, are you single? Back at it again with another mukbang, but this time, you know what it is. It has to be the Vietnamese pho, alright? Got your basic pho here, you know. If you haven't seen that video, make sure you watch it. But I decided to do a one-take mukbang where I answer some questions that weren't answered in my other video. Cause people have been, hey, have you like answered the questions on Instagram? Well, guess what? You're gonna see it in this video. But before I get into that, and there's a couple Instagram questions on my Q&A on the other video that, you know, not a lot of people know about, but I did the entire video with all the questions. But it ended up being like an hour long, and I'm like, I don't think anyone's gonna watch me blab on for an hour long, let alone 10 minutes. So I gave this opportunity to answer some of y'all questions, alright? XAJC asks, what made you want to make YouTube videos? And by the way, you're my favorite YouTuber. By the way, you're my favorite commenter. Oh, excuse me. Well, you know, what made me want to make YouTube videos? I don't know. I was always that kid in high school where it's like, if the teacher gave me an opportunity to make like a short film or a project, I would be like, hey, man, can I do it? Or there would be a class presentation. I was like, hell no, I ain't talking in front of the class. I'd rather make an awesome, awkward, funny video. And that was me throughout high school, and I love making videos. And, you know, that's something that I wanted to do. Mirain XX asks, will you marry me? Well, you know, that depends. If you're over 19 years old and, you know, you seem as a sophisticated person and, you know, you think I'm all cute and stuff, message me, you know, come through. You think I'm joking, but I'm not, but I'm sort of joking. Chick Pikachu asks, would you ever consider a long distance relationship? Well, you know, to answer that question, would I consider a long distance? Well, that's a complicated thing. It depends. Did I meet you before? Or did I meet you somewhere before I didn't meet you in person? Then I would consider the relationship. Because those are two separate things where it's like, we met together in person first, then we went our separate ways, or did we somehow met on the internet and stuff and consider that a relationship and then we meet up in person? But to answer your both questions, and in the words of Justin Bieber, never say never. Oh, I'm so full. Oh, I'm so fat. Look at this fat. That was a weak ass burp. Ooh. Ashley 101 asks, are you single? Well, you know, honestly speaking, you know, it's been like, I think, single as in single or just single, right? Because if you're wondering when was my last date, then that was 3 months ago. And if you're talking about actually being in a relationship, that's been quite some time and it gets lonely. But to answer your question, yes. XDAJC back at again with another question. And she asks, would you ever do a meetup? Well, if I ever get to that huge level, hell yeah, I would do a meetup. I would meet every one single y'all. Just don't hurt me. Please. Pretty please. I know I sort of answered this in the other video, but Ni.A asks, what inspired the name Broke the Habit? Well, initially, all it was just, you know, after the song Linkin Park, breaking the habit. But what that encompasses is just, you know, me, essentially what it is, breaking the habit. Whether that was, you know, being that shy, quiet person, whether that was, you know, needing more confidence, whether that was, you know, breaking out of my vicious cycle of constantly, you know, victimizing myself in life, or whether that's, you know, breaking the habit of society, you know, because I'm X, Y, and Z, I'm perceived as X, Y, and Z. And that's the reason behind my name. And I've, like, when it comes to YouTubers, a lot of people change their names and that and that. I decided to stick with it when I made the account. So, like it or hate it, it's staying. Mr. Zen Dynasty asks, have you ever traveled anywhere afar? Realistically, not that much, you know, whether that's, you know, I've traveled to like Hong Kong, places like Vietnam, and what other places would you like to visit? Well, when it comes to visiting other places, you know, I would consider anywhere abroad that's like different from your already, you know, established routine from whatever it is. You know, places I want to go to like places like London, Australia, places like, you know, Korea, Japan, and yeah. But you know what Ralph Waldo Emerson says, your giant goes wherever you go. So home is always where the heart is. And that's all my questions on the IG. Wasn't that interesting? And that was my edition of my mukbang part 2. And if you guys want me to do more of these, let me know, because, you know, you ask, you shall receive. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Oh, I got those food sweats though. Those is like an entire channel dedicated to that. I don't know, man.